Understand why we can't help each other, why we can't put our heads together and help one another, why we can't band together at this time, at this moment. This is going to be Black History Month, right? Y'all all say Martin Luther King had a dream, but guess what? I am the dream. So now I need you guys to stand with me and help me grow our dream.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Theme of YouTube music. Tiffany Henyard is back on today's schedule, and it's not my fault. It really isn't. It's somebody else's fault, and I'll tell you whose fault it is. Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? The Dolton Trustee Board. You see, the Dolton Trustee Board, they like releasing a lot of content on YouTube, and they are out here really trying to combat the lies of Tiffany Henyard. And whenever Tiffany Henyard ran for mayor in 2021, she set a record. At the time, she was 37 years old. She became the first African-American female mayor of Dolton, actually becoming the first and female mayor of Dolton. Give her a round of applause. And she always talks about how she won 82% of the vote. Now, Kiana Belcher, who is getting quite popular now in these politics, ran for mayor, but decided to join forces with Tiffany Henyard and get some of her would-be voters to vote for this particular campaign. That also included Mr. Jason House and other trustees. But here's what Tiffany Henyard always alludes to. Play that clip.
I am your leader. I am the one that won by 82%. I am the one that carry you, Trustee Jason House, you, Kiana Belcher, that never wins anything, over the hump. That's why you guys have your seats that you have before you.
She always alludes to, I won 82% of the vote in a landslide victory. You guys are haters. But this interview with Jason House and Nate the lawyer is going to tell something different. Play that clip.
When she makes comments about her comments, oh, I won by 82% of the vote. That's a complete exaggeration. She says that she carried myself and Trustee Kiana Belcher. So I do want to kind of highlight that because if she carried me, she would not have been begging for my endorsement on her in her video. That was a big boy. I was asked to run for mayor, and at that time, I elected against it. And when you look at the real election in Dolton, so Dolton actually has a Democratic primary. We're largely a Democratic community.
Yeah, so whoever wins that really wins the mayoralship.
Yes. So when you look at the numbers of the real election was on February 21st of the same year. Mm-hmm. During that election, she won by 4%. She beat out the former mayor. She got the lowest vote total of any mayor that ever won the Democratic primary.
Oh, wow.
And so when I pulled the numbers up. She got 1,001 votes. The former mayor, who had a stroke a month prior, lost by 120 votes. He got 888 votes. Tiffany, who everybody knew she was was a little naive, and she would even admit that, okay, well, no, I got some things I'm going to learn, but I'm going to work with the team. That was the sales pitch throughout the whole campaign. Oh, well, I'm going to work with everybody. We're going to get this done. I understand I got some things to learn. I went out to many residents and told them, look, she's going to work with us. We all know her the sales pitch was, give me a chance. That was really said many times by myself, Trustee Belcher, trying to advocate for it. And if you look at the election results of what I'm going to say is the real election, the Democratic primary, and every trustee got more votes than the mayor did in that election. Clerk Allison Keys got 1,470 votes. I'll repeat again, Tiffany had 1,001 votes.
Nobody hates on the clerk.
I received the next highest, 1,357 votes. Trustee Brittany Norwood, 1,140 votes. Trustee Belcher, 1,065 votes. All more votes than the mayor did. There were even two candidates that lost for trustee that got more votes than she did during that election. Yet, when we come, you hear 82%. That's because we went that was during the general election, where she, as a Democrat in a completely Democratic community, went against an independent. Personally, I feel like 82% is a low number for her. But when you do the semantics and you want to pick, and if we talk about that 82%, that does not speak to the 55% of people that voted to recall her 1 year later.
Wow. The other person, the former mayor, had a stroke a month earlier. That I did not know. But what I did know is that a year later, this is somebody who always brags about having 82% of the vote. The city of Dolton tried to recall that vote, trying to make her not the mayor anymore in 1 year. That was 2 years ago. By 1 year, they realized they had made a horrible mistake. I know you don't believe me. Play the clip.
Now to campaign 2022. In a recall fight in Chicago's south suburbs, people in the village of Dolton voted to kick the mayor out of office. But as CBS 2's Jermont Terry reports, the mayor is not going anywhere for now.
Congratulations, Madam Mayor.
Just over a year after getting sworn in as Dolton's mayor, voters recalled Tiffany Henyard Tuesday.
We listened to the community. The community has asked us, what can we do? They were uncomfortable with lack of transparency. They were uncomfortable with the spending.
Village trustee Jason House believes the referendum to recall the mayor was necessary and fair.
We are a democracy. The people have spoken, and we really are going to do everything we can to make sure that their voice is heard.
But the mayor took her fight to court and won in the lower court. This ruling by the Illinois Appellate Court days before Tuesday's election said the recall election could go on, and those votes can get counted but not certified.
What you have here is absolutely a legal roller coaster.
CBS 2 legal analyst Irv Miller says despite the recall prevailing, it's unclear where the votes stand at this moment.
They've asking for time to review it. They could say after they review it in September, hey, these votes count, this mayor's out of office. Or in the alternative, they could say, hey, listen, this wasn't a valid election. This mayor's staying right where she's at.
Mayor Henyard says, I remain confident the appellate court will affirm the recall initiative is unconstitutional. But sadly, because the vote was allowed to happen, our community is more divided than ever. As we await a final decision from the appellate court, I will continue to do the work I'm doing now to serve the people of Dolton.
I think our community is really suffering.
Now, Mayor's spokesman says many of her supporters were confused and opted not to cast a vote on the recall. But we're told only 100 people left that section blank on the ballot, while more than 400 votes separated the recall decision. The appeals in this case could go all the way to the state Supreme Court. Live in the newsroom tonight, Jermont Terry. Erica, back to you.
Jermont, thank you.
You see, Tiffany Henyard, if she really had the support of the people, you would have no reason not to veto a bill investigating your spending. You would not be trying to change up these laws about what would happen after you got office. I believe like she wants to reduce one of the salaries down to $25,000 a year for Thornton Township, when currently she gets like $220,000 a year. So you wouldn't put those things or try to put those things into place if you really felt comfortable in being the woman that you say that you are. But the fact is, you're like a dictator. You know, you're kind of like one of these pastors like David Taylor, you know, out here begging, out here insecure. I mean, you're just a natural cult leader. And so cult leaders are cowards, okay? They rule on power and they rule on fear. Because if people like you, then what do you have to hide? But no, you want to control people and you want to spin the narrative as if everybody else is wrong. You always talk about the facts, and we see no facts. She always says, I bring facts. Well, you know what? If you guys didn't remember this lady at the board meeting, let's see how many facts she brought then. Play the clip.
Evening, Board of Trustees, residents, mayor, and the department heads. I'm here to express deep concerns about the township's lack of transparency relating to financial records. If there is no discrepancies in our finances, then why the resistance? Why not share the information to the residents? The mayor has recently reported in a recent interview that our deficit is 2 million rather than the 7 million. If that's true, where's the proof? Yet she has failed to give us the proof. The mayor also has made claims that the proof of financial information is on the Dolton's website, yet it is not. That is false. We don't need any more videos. We don't need anything else saying that what you're claiming to do for the village. We need accountability. We need information on the finances. Stan Brown, Trustee Stan Brown. I find myself perplexed by your position on the Finance Committee. Your role suggests a focus on our village finances, yet discussions from you from this critical topic are notably absent. Where are the Finance Committee meetings? Why don't you speak up during these board meetings? Where are the financial reports? Surely you should have that information, right? Why don't we have it? I urge you to refocus on the financial health of our community and share with us your actions and plans for enhancing transparency. Trustee Holmes, I must ask, what do you believe your role to be? As a public servant, your role is to represent the residents' interests, yet your actions don't align with our concerns and our needs. As an activist, you should be driven to tackle injustices and push for significant changes in our township. I urge you to align your efforts more closely with our community's pressing needs. To the residents, continue to speak up, speak out, do not be afraid. We demand transparency, and that's what we should get. Thank you to the trustees for what you are doing, the rest of you all. Thank you for continuing to fight on our behalf, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good evening.
That's right. Tiffany, no facts, Henyard. That's your name. You bring no facts, okay? Maybe you brought a fax machine. I don't know about that, but you definitely don't bring no facts. And the reality is, of all of this, you got nominated because of other people that people liked in the city. Jason House didn't want to run for mayor, okay? He probably should have, now that we've seen you. And you got it. We all know what you wanted to do, which was basically be a self-aggrandizing young lady and spend all the stuff, all the resources, and then be completely unaccountable. Nobody thinks, unless you're paid cronies, that you're a good mayor. That can't be the case. Nobody in their right mind would believe that. Not even your own Dolton Township position, which has, over 17 counties, they don't like you. They're complaining about you. You're getting complaints in Dolton Township, also making national media in Dolton. And it's always somebody else's fault. You want to throw it in somebody's face that, you know what, you got all these votes and support. Well, let's say if that was true. What is your approval rating now? It would probably be less than 7%, okay? So even if you did get 80% of the vote, which you didn't, but if you did, it would still be the same. You're a terrible politician. Everybody knows that. Why can't you get that? Through your thick head. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, City Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of Celebrity Junk. Put your fire, we're out.